Feeling satisfied is the best feeling ever. How to control and move on so we can strive for more. Again, by ignoring and not observing your own ibadah, and not observing your own sincerity, and not observing that you are satisfied. You just basically melt in your ibadah that it's for Allah, melt in pleasement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as our Shaykh taught us. In Al-Fajr, Surah Al-Fajr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayatuha nafsul mutma'inna. Allah is addressing people who are mutma'inna after hearing the judgment and their success, or addressing those who had mutma'inna qalb here in this dunya. They are the same, brother. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who is with nafs mutma'inna and who is going to go to the dunya. There is no future and past and present for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's just time for us. So Allah knows. It's us who doesn't know yet. Right? I have a question about al-Zuhd. I've read in Arba'in for Usul al-Din al-Ghazali, in the book of the Arba'in in kids. I'm trying to translate as I'm reading because it's in Arabic. There is a book of Ghazali that's called Al-Arba'in fi Usul al-Din, one of the great books of Imam al-Ghazali. And Ala Maratib Zuhd and Tanaf al-Masjid, the best, or the highest levels of Zuhd is sleep in the masjid and wear ripped clothes and so on. So I want to know how beneficial those levels are for us, or is it? Well, the Imam al-Ghazali is talking about his time. What was applicable to his time is not applicable to us here now. That's why our imams and our shuyukh taught us that when you read books, you can take that and apply it directly. Follow your sheikh. Your sheikh will be able to tell you, okay, no, that's not applicable. That's applicable. What you should be doing. So Imam al-Ghazali is talking about his time, and like the shuyukh way of application of tasawuf has changed. Like for example, Imam al-Shadili, when Sufiya, when tasawuf started, a lot of people tried to just fall in the trap of wearing those kind of clothes we are talking about, and start to be like more pretending and insincere. Imam al-Shadili, he came and started wearing a great, very nice clothes, very, very nice clothes. And then they would be critical of him. They will tell him, oh, you think you are Sufi? What are you wearing? How are you wearing that? He's saying, yeah, I'm wearing that because when I wear that, it tells us, everybody, that I don't need them. But your clothes tells everybody that you need them. Okay? So the how to changed. That's what we need to understand. The how to, this is what Sheikh tell you to do. But the objective, what is the objective of tasawwuf? As we said in the previous lesson, is to apply and to inherit the Prophet's manners and behavior and etiquette and everything, to apply that as much as we can, right? So how can you teach yourself to do that? It differs from era to era and place to place and age to age. Okay, so that's the objective. As we said, we want to learn how to drive a car. The car that worked 100 years ago is different than now. So you need to go to the instructor on the cars that are available now. Not if you brought a different instructor that used to teach on I don't know what kind of cars used to drive 100 or 150 years ago or whatever, then he's not going to be teaching you anything, right? I hope that addresses the question to some extent. Okay, a brother is saying that the course has opened up the mind and made them appreciate or understand true Sufis and Salafis, the difference and so on. So that's great that the message is now being out there. Don't leave that message stop by you. Start delivering that message to your family, to your kids. Protect your kids by warning them of those who call themselves Salafi, and tell them the truth about what Sufi are and what Sufism is, and the truth about Aqidah and so on, about Ash'ari. And those are the scholars that protected and preserved our religion for thousands or hundreds of years. If I am not willing to pray tahajjud, but I remember the reward for praying tahajjud, then I pray it for the rewards in my mind. Is this considered bad or an action of cutting off? No, it is considered good. But again, remember, we are talking about a very high level. Okay? You take yourself gradual. We are starting from a very low rank that you need to encourage yourself and motivate yourself with the reward. That is what is the Quran. The Quran is basically for everybody, right? But what we are saying is, as you get closer, as your heart starts lighting up, you start realizing that actually I am now embarrassed that I was worshipping and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his reward. I should be worshipping Allah for Allah, for him. That will allow you to elevate to the higher ranks. If you didn't do that, then you are stopping in the middle. You are just in the halfway or quarter way, wherever you stopped at. The objective here, we are trying to keep going. We are not trying to stop. It is not just, okay, I want to be good and that's it. No, I want to be good and not trying to be better and better. I'm trying to please Allah more and more and more. Okay? So keep good. Yeah, you should do that. You should think about the reward, expect it, and be hopeful of it and everything. But what we are talking about is also be mindful that you are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Allah. And that's what you need to be there. And ask Allah to get you there. Ask Allah to take your hand. Ya wasil al-munqati'ina awsilna ilayk. Oh Allah, you take the cutoff. So take us to you. Okay? That's the dua. I have friends who studied from Al-Madinah schools and do not follow Abdul Wahhab teachings and take Ibn Taymiyyah as a source of information but not rulings. They also don't badmouth Sufi scholars and follow one of the four madhabs. How different is it from al-Azhari teachings? It is like not doing all the bad things but still doing a bad thing, I think. I'm not sure to what extent they take Ibn Taymiyyah as a source. Ibn Taymiyyah has a lot of like, he says a lot of things. There are good and bad, okay? If they take Ibn Taymiyyah for what the good is and avoid the bad, then they will have to rely on other sources. Otherwise, they are tainted. Otherwise, how they know what is good and bad from Ibn Taymiyyah? Okay, so for example, one of the good books, very good books of Ibn al-Qayyim, Kitab al-Rawh, the spirit or the soul, is a very good book. It is filled with a lot of bad stuff and corporeal. He tried to put the corporeal stuff here and there, but if you are aware of that, you can avoid it. That's fine. And that book, by the way, the Salafis and Wahhabis warn from it. So they are. It's very weird. They take what they want, they throw out what it doesn't. Anyway, it's also exactly like, for example, reading Kitab al-Zamakhshari, one of the greatest books of tafsir. Kitab al-Zamakhshari in tafsir, the al-Kashaf. Okay, but al-Zamakhshari was Mu'tazili. So again, you read it with the proper explanation so that you identify what is good, what is bad. That's fine. Now, about following a madhab, a lot of Salafis recently, as a disguise, started to follow madhab or say they are following madhab, but then they still don't take with that and mingle here and there and stuff like that. So I don't know to what extent they are. My advice is don't do that for you. Like, they do whatever they want. My advice to you, you don't do that. You follow a madhab properly. You follow Aqidah madhab properly. and then if you want to follow Sufi tariq, you find the proper way and follow it. This is the Azhari manhaj. This is the Azhari way. And taking Ibn Taymiyyah as a source in what? In Aqidah, then they are corporealist. If they take Ibn Taymiyyah in Aqidah, they are corporealist. There is no way around it. I meant to ask that only the prophets have the mutma'inna nafs. The prophets has a perfect nafs, not mutma'inna, the higher. The prophets start with the highest level and go from there. You can reach that nafs, but not the mutma'inna, the perfect, but you are not going to be in the same level within that, because it is not just that every rank of what we talked about is just not one level. There are many levels, endless levels in the last level, right? And you cannot, there is no way you reach the prophets level, okay? Because if anyone, his nafs was to that level, he would have been a prophet. The reason that we are here in this life, we are not prophets, we are not, is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows our nafs and put us where we belong, okay? So it's everything plays out in according to Allah's plan, according to Allah, what Allah wants, and according to what He knows. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know all the selves. He chose the perfect self, the Prophet, peace be upon him, and then the one below him, the prophets. And He looked at the other selves. He found the best one, not out of the Prophet, is Abu Bakr Siddiq. He made him the closest companion to the Prophet, and looked to the other companions. He selected who goes into what ages and what era, in what circumstances, who will they meet, who will their father will be, who will their mother will be, everything based on yourself, because He knows you better than you, okay? So submit yourself to Him. What is the next book we are reading in theology? I'm not sure yet, I haven't decided. Let me know in the in the Telegram group, but I'd like to we have fiqh first, and then we do hadith, inshallah, and then probably we'll go back to theology. I want to finish like level 1 before moving horizontally. I want to in that roadmap. And by the conclusion of this second part, I mean, we expanded and elaborated in the Tasawuf section, so that the intro to Tasawuf is now done. So we also completed that course, because it is now a part of the theology course. What is the position of the hadra that some Sufis do? Is this acceptable as a practice of Tasawuf or a bid'ah? I can't answer that, because I don't know how they do it and what they are doing. If hadra, if you mean by hadra that you gather to do dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's fine. If you mean by hadra is to get hadra where they are mingling women and men together and like that, again, that's not proper. Like it depends. You have to have what our shiukh say or call al-aqliya al-fariqa, a critical thinking mind and a distinguishing mind. What is a knife haram or halal? A knife, is it haram or halal? That's the wrong question. The knife is halal if you are using it to fix your food. It's haram if you are going to kill someone with it, right? So, like, for example, people are talking about dancing. Some Sufis dance. Let's talk about that for a while, for a little bit, because this question I think we need to address. People are talking about some Sufis tariq dance in like hadra, or doing, or when they gather or whatever. Now, again, as we said, the objective is reaching the ihsan level, which is the third pillar of the Islam. The objective is to apply the Prophet's ethics to you, okay? To take that, to gain as much as that. You cannot be the Prophet. You cannot be even 1% or one of 10 millions of him, but you try, okay? So that's the objective. How to do it? This is what everybody is talking about. This is the turuq, which is also should be according to the Sharia. There is no way that in our religion, ends do not justify means. what is haram is haram. Okay, don't say I mean well, or my end is doing so and so, so I can just reach there by doing wrong stuff or being manipulative or whatever. No, that's haram. So everything the shuyukh should be doing should be in according to the Sharia. Now, some ways, some turuq will be, they are not actually dancing, they are jumping up and down, doing some acrobatic kind of stuff. Okay, now doing acrobatic stuff in itself, is it haram? It's not haram, unless you are doing like a bad move, or move like have some sort of sexual continuation or like a way, that's haram for sure. But if you are doing just jumping up and down, is that haram? No. We have hadith that the Prophet, peace be upon him, allowed al-ahbash, sort of like performers, to jump and do some acrobatic stuff with hirb, with some like, it's not dancing, but some kind of performance in the masjid, and everybody was looking at them, and Sayyidah Aisha was looking, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, will lift the curtain so that the Sayyidah Aisha can see them. Like, wow, that's great, it's very nice entertainment. Okay, in the masjid. So jumping up and down and doing acrobatic moves by itself is not haram. Now, when they do that, you need to understand why they are doing it. If they are doing it and saying this is sunnah, no, that's haram, because it's not a sunnah. It is not a part of the religion. But if you are doing that because it is in your way, in your tariqah, to do dhikr of La ilaha illallah 100,000 times, and you are starting feeling sleepy and you need to finish that word, so you start jumping up and down so that you refresh yourself, so that you complete your dhikr, then there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so you need to have that like distinguishable mind about things. Not necessarily that's the best way of doing it, or not necessarily that I am doing it or you're doing it, or I advise everybody to do that. I'm just saying, don't be judgmental over others. They have their ways, they have their own things to be careful about. They are not claiming that this is sunnah or wajib or mandatory or anything. They are just using it as a mean, as a tool to reach a higher goal. It's up to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge them, not you. Okay, so with that we conclude the theology course and the introduction to the Tasawuf course as well. We'll just, inshallah, going to take a short break of a couple of weeks before we resume our courses. The next course, inshallah, is going to be fiqh. Introduction to fiqh, usul fiqh, and introduction to the fiqh madahib and so on. It should be a very, very interesting course, inshallah. I advise everybody to join, and if they can't join, watch the YouTube recordings. In Ramadan, because of my timing, I'm not sure what the time will be yet. It is subject to change. It's even subject to be cancelled as a live lesson. So maybe in Ramadan I'll just record the lesson and upload it. I haven't yet decided. Let me know what you think in the Telegram group, inshallah, about that. Yeah, just keep following the Telegram group for updates. And those who cannot follow Telegram, there is also the Facebook page. You can follow that. I think that's all in my mind for now. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك استغفرك اللهم من كل ذنب واتوب اليك. اللهم اغفر لنا اخطاءنا واغفر لنا خطايانا واسرافنا في امرنا وثبت اقدامنا. اللهم اعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. يا رب، ما كان من سوء فهو منا وما كان من خير فهو منك، فتقبل منا يا الله. اللهم be pleased with us. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.